How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious, and we are getting a brand new hero in Watch of Realms. Who knows when? Probably pretty soon, but we know all about her now because she is live here on the test server. That is right, I am live on the Fastidious test server, but this character looks pretty darn complete. She's going to be a cultist mage. Her name is Beatrix. Just like every new mage for forever now, it's been months and months, every new cultist mage we get, she's a summoner. They're always summoners, apparently. And funny enough, she's got CRACH range. Look at that. When she's at full promo, she has the same weird range as CRACH with the 3 in front and then the 5 further than that. You don't believe me? Let me just show you. The real question is going to be, though, is she better than CRACH? There you go. There's that weird range, because we sure hope so. You'll see I do not yet have her on the test server. As soon as I do, I will test her out in gameplay. But for now, I can do a full breakdown on my impressions on the character, on the kit. I actually have gone through it a few times, so I think I probably know her kit as well as anyone in the realm. All in all, I think there is a chance she's going to be Magic CRACH or CRACH 2.0, whatever you want to call it, mid-tricks as opposed to Beatrix or triple S tricks. However, there is potential in the kit. I'll take you through all of that. Clearly, summoners are being made into a thing, and in a summoner comp, you could see her succeeding. And I will say, we'll do the awakenings later on in the video. If you get her to A5, specifically A5, she's like an entirely new hero. She's going to be so much stronger. It's going to be very significant. Entirely new, maybe that's pushing it, but that elevates her too. Certainly she'll be better than CRACH once you get her A5. But the base version, what does that look like? Another summoner, another cultist, another sexy witch. Let's get into it.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
All right, guys, so we got Beatrix, the Shadow Collector. No cinematic for this one, at least not yet. Almost certainly there won't be. It would already be the button. The video button would be right here already where the cursor is if she was going to get one. But we got her story. Let's do that very quick. The Dark Mage Beatrix harnesses the power of departed souls. There's definitely a theme here. The soul reaping with Virna, similar stuff going on with Zaris. Weaving the essence of fallen spirits into dream eaters. These are like glowing orbs. I'll show you that when we go over the ult. That materialize at her call, ready to aid in combat. So she's a summoner. She's a DPSer. There's a little bit of crowd control. It is, you can tell, it's not the most, this is not like, if you haven't seen my Twyla video, Hex's girlfriend, Harley Quinn, go check that out. This ain't that. Is there maybe a little bit of latent potential? Sure, but I would be lying to try to get, if I tried to get you guys all super hyped up about her, because just the kit doesn't read that fun. So let's go through it pretty quick. Her 2 tags, she's a summoner and she's damage escalating. So usually there's some kind of passive thing in a hero's kit that allows them to ramp up their damage, whether that be through damage increase or attack boosts or something like that. In her case, it is a very modest attack boost. At A3, this will get stronger, but I mean, that takes getting 4 copies of her. Let's get into the talent. When an enemy dies in range, she summons 1 Dream Eater. This is like the key function, the key component, the key feature of her kit. These are the glowing orbs. They kind of look like these eyes down here that she summons. This is a cooldown of 15 seconds. This is kind of the bummer. Again, there's a way to make this lower later on. You'll see that with Awakenings. But 15 seconds, and I'll click on Dream Eater right now, they only last 18 seconds. Of course, you can summon them in another way, but you're just not going to see that max, 5 that you could see at all times. So to break down what the Dream Eater does, it inherits 100% of the Master's attributes, so 100% of whatever attributes you built on Beatrix, and it assists her in attacking enemies in range. And again, that being the now signature CRACH Beatrice range. The very weird 3 in front and then 5 2 rows back. Each attack deals 40% AoE damage to up to 5 enemies, so it is like a very modest AoE or a very good multi-target, depending on how you want to describe it. The Dream Eater exists for 18 seconds and explodes upon expiration, and that explosion, I wish it was bigger. I wish it was like 300 or 400% AoE magic damage. We're talking just 100% AoE magic damage. And as you'll see, you can only have up to 4 Dream Eaters existing simultaneously. I think I might have just said 5. It's only 4, and it's hard to even get all 4 up. So it's not like they're exploding all the time and you're gonna have multiple explosions. And again, that AoE, it's not a full AoE. It only hits 5 enemies. So it's something, but again, you can tell I'm not too thrilled about it. let's get into, excuse me, let's finish off that talent. So that this is a cooldown of 15 seconds. So once an enemy dies, she summons a Dream Eater, and then nothing through this mechanism for 15 seconds without awakenings. Nothing for 15 seconds until something else dies again, then she'll summon another one. But let's say one dies, she summons a Dream Eater, 15 seconds later, another one is dying, she summons another one. There's only 3 seconds of overlap because that first one will be exploding, expiring at 18 seconds. So just 3 seconds from the summoning of the second one. When a Dream Eater explodes, she restores 2% of her rage. This would be amazing, again, if she could like always have them exploding all the time, but that is not the case. It really is not going to be the case, at least not as Ire Eater kit, because there's a maximum of 4 that you can even have. They all last 18 seconds. There's no way they ever detonate early, and very, very often you will not have 4 up at once. Certainly without awakenings, I don't see you having 4 up at once very often at all, except for maybe these random 3 seconds of overlap that we just discussed. So our basic attack here deals 100% damage, AoE to up to 5 enemies, so it's the same thing as what the Dream Eaters do, but instead of 40% AoE damage, AoE, again, only 5 targets, it's going to be 100% AoE to 5 targets. At base, it looks like this, but obviously it goes to Beatrix CRACH range with her max promotions. This goes up to 120% with skill ups, very standard. Let's do the ultimate now. I will say it's a simple kit, so that's pretty fun. It's 1,000 cost, so this is the other way you can summon Dream Eaters. She does summon 2 at a time. You'll see this can increase with awakenings. A lot of caveats about awakenings here. It summons 2. At max skill ups, it's 900 cost, so it's not super expensive, but it's not like you're going to be able to cycle this very quickly, even with those Dream Eaters occasionally exploding and giving you 2% back, right? So we're talking 2% of 900 costs is going to be 18 rage. So every time they explode, you get 18 rage. It's pretty darn negligible. But when you trigger this, you summon 2 Dream Eaters in range. You can see the animation here above my head. They're like these eyes that come out. Let's actually click off and click back on so you can see it from the beginning. She's going to cast her ultimate. She does it, boom, and then she gets 2 Dream Eaters poking out to the sides of these glowing purple orbs with eyes, and they attack and move around, and kind of cool looking while she continues attack. During the duration of this ultimate, which lasts 20 seconds, both Beatrix and the Dream Eaters she summons from this, and any other Dream Eaters she summoned maybe from her talent, they get a damage boost. It's 20% at base. It goes up to 35%. It also reduces the cooldown of talent by 5 seconds. So this is the other way you can do it without awakenings, that you can get slightly more Dream Eaters. So now instead of being an enemy dies, you summon a Dream Eater from the talent, wait 15 seconds, while the ultimate is active for that 20-second window, it will only take 10 seconds. But you can kind of do the math there. Even if you killed one right at the beginning, right at the beginning, and then you have the 20 seconds, you'll get 1 extra summon at perfect efficiency. So you get 1 extra trigger of the talent, because after the 20 seconds, it's back to par for the course, 15 seconds. It's to me, this is a very underwhelming ultimate. You know, if it doubled 2 extra damage, so 100% increase, not 35% increase for her in the Dream Eaters, that might be something. But as it stands now, I do not see how this is going to be any kind of big damage. And actually, once I take you through these skills before the awakenings, I'm going to show you her base stats. Yikes. Okay, the first passive, Nightmare Curse. The basic attack of the hero and Dream Eater has a 20% chance of inflicting slow. This goes up to a 30% chance with skill ups, and the slow base effect and duration is a 25% slow, so it's only going to reduce the typical movement speed of your enemies by a quarter, and the duration is only 1.5 seconds. This goes up to 2-second duration and a full 50% slow, the most potent being a minus 75% slow, where you cut it by 3/4. This will cut in half with skill ups. Each hit only has a 20% chance. She is a mage. She doesn't have such a high attack interval, 3.5 seconds, pretty dang slow. So honestly, it's just, the Dream Eater inherits all of her stats, 100% of her attributes, so they're also not going to be attacking that quickly. I just, like, even with a ton of speed built on, maybe you're talking 1.7, 1.8 second attack intervals, it's not going to be that many instances. She won't be a terrible source of slow, but she'll be fairly unreliable, and it's not even like a big, strong version. If we go to someone like Mari, who's a day 3 free epic, obviously she won't do DPS like Beatrix can do, Midtrix can do, But Mari, if we go over here, I mean, we're talking her slows are full potency, 75% slows, lasting for 1.5 seconds here. She gets a big freeze. You know, to me, it's just stronger with Awakenings, which you'll definitely get for Mari because she is an epic hero. It's very easy to get her over the course of playing the game. That slow actually goes up to an extra additional second at A5. Everyone will get there eventually. So now this slow is going to be 2.5 seconds. I just don't see how Beatrix is bringing any form of the support that someone like Amari can bring, and I question if the extra DPS is significant enough to make her worthwhile. There are going to be synergies in her kit that make her very strong in summoner comps, so let's move on to that now. We look over here, Spirit Drain, this passive, when an allied summon spawns on the battlefield, increases the hero's attack by 1%, stacking up to 5 times. We'll have to test this, and these stacks with skill ups goes up to 10 times. So maximum after 10 allied summons have spawned, you can get an increase in attack by 10%. So a post-deployment boost of 10%. It's the equivalent to like an invigoration buff. Obviously, it could stack with that as well. It's not insignificant, but some, like, I mean, compare that to Valkyra. Sorry, I keep hopping around. Let's go back to the North Throne. This is a hero that also has damage escalation over time. This, I guess, with Beatrix, it's dependent upon summons from allies, but that is guaranteed if you run the right comp. With Valkyra, it literally is just ticking away over time. But if we look over here at Sword of Victory, we're getting an increase in attack by 5% with skill ups every 14 seconds up to 8 times. So over the course of a long battle, you're getting 8 instances of a 5% boost. It's a 40% post-deployment attack boost to a hero with low base attack, relatively low base attack. And that's coming in at 4270. As you're about to see, Beatrix has a lower base attack than that, and maximum capability, again, without Awakenings. It can get higher with Awakenings. It's only a 10% boost post-deployment from the attack. So you're talking a quarter the potency of what someone like Valkyra is getting. Valkyra is obviously really good, so she doesn't have to be like as good, but it just shows you why like I think I'm disappointed with this hero. Let me actually show you, well, really quickly. You see it says 22 block. That's obviously a mistake. That's why this is the test server. It's not live yet. Almost assuredly it would be 1 block. It also doesn't matter. She's a platformer, but I know that also existed with Twyla. If you missed that from my video a couple days ago, if not, go check out my Twyla video. But you'll see she's coming in with her block equaling her cost as well at 17 block. There's no chance in heck that Beatrix will have 22 block and Twyla will have 17. Let's show those stats now. Buckle up, guys. They live in the basement. 4,050, the same as Zarus. Zarus, though, you know, if you've seen me cover him, especially in the video I did, the follow-up video I did on Ronaldo's channel, that was about 3 weeks ago. You can go check that out. Zarus has a lot more like big burst and cycling capability, and he's deploying more things initially. Also, his Souls of the Damned, their base damage is 80% damage to 5 enemies as opposed to 40, and he's bringing more if you cycle him effectively. So I think he's a lot stronger, and he is with the same attack. So you can see in a case of Zarus, you're going for that low base attack, but to make up for the fact that it's not just him attacking, but all the Souls of the Damned he's summoning, they're doing the same thing here with Beatrix, giving her very low attack because she's summoning a lot of other things to help her out. I think that's the thought behind it from the developers. However, I don't think she's going to have many Dream Eaters alive at the same time or with her at the same time, and it's just not as good of multipliers, right? They're hitting for 40%. I don't envision this is going to be so fun. You know, 3.5 second base attack interval, 4,050 base attack. This is not my kind of kit. It's not the kind of thing you can get too excited about. Awakenings, though, can make her a lot better. So let's wrap up. Before we do big conclusions, let's give you a final punch of information. That's going to be Awakenings. So at A1, each stack of Spirit Drain, that's the passive we just discussed, increases attack by an additional 1%. So now with skill ups, you can get 10 stacks, and then each stack is going to give you a 2% post-deployment attack boost, so a lot better. So it's 20% total when you reach max stacks. That is permanent. Dream Eater's Deaths can also grant 1 additional stack of Spirit Drain. So she can gain these stacks when an allied summon appears on the battlefield. I do not think, we would have to test it, but I do not think her Dream Eaters count as allied summon. I think it has to be another summoner, you know, like a Kriya or a Zarus or a Cyrus, so on and so on. These people summoning, so you can earn it that way. You can earn the stack, which is now a 2% post-deployment attack stack that way, or you can do it when one of her Dream Eaters explode, when they expire after 18 seconds. Now, this is a good one, Awaken 2 plus 300 attack. You can do the math, right? With only 4,000 base attack, this is like, essentially it's 4,050, but call it 4,000. This would be the equivalent of plus 7.5% attack, right? 300 is a big deal for her because she has such low base attack. We'll absolutely take it. The A3, when a Dream Eater dies, it restores 10% of her HP. I do not envision any content that this will be relevant. Maybe when you're like progressing through Gear Aid 1 by the skin of your teeth, you know, when those Scourge guys come out with their big radiating AoE damage over time stuff, maybe these could be clutch and keep her alive. This is an A3 that you will not be pumped for. It will just feel like a step towards her A5. Her A4 -3 costs, if you didn't hear me mention it, she's 22 costs, which is far too expensive for how not good I think she is. So this will bring her down to a respectable 19, which is the same as Comet, and she's going to be way worse than Comet. If you get her A5 though, this is where she kind of wakes up and smells the coffee, becomes a better hero. Now, when you do her ultimate, instead of summoning 2 Dream Eaters, it's going to be 3. So you're getting a lot closer to being able to max out at 4 Dream Eaters. She does her ultimate, that's 3. Then once someone dies, you get a 4th, and that will cycle every 15 seconds. However, you can max out even faster because also every time the talent's triggered, there's a 1 in 4 chance, a 25% chance that she will summon 2 Dream Eaters. So instead of 1, it will be 2. Once you get her A5, I think obviously that's like her full potential. There's going to be a very consistent uptime if you cycle her right, if you build her well, a lot of rage regen, that she will have 4 Dream Eaters or nearly 4 Dream Eaters around her at all times. At that point, she probably is a respectable DPS, but at least as I read the kit, you guys let me know in the comments if you disagree, there is no way she competes with the likes of, definitely not a Comet or a Brace or anything, but even like a base Virna. I don't see her keeping up with that. So to me, like, if you keep pulling her, you know, at least you have something to look forward to because she'll become serviceable. But most people, by the time you've pulled 6 copies of her, will have pulled something better. Maybe there's something I'm missing in the kit, and again, let me know in the comments. Maybe there's some kind of summoner synergy where she's just going to absolutely shine. But as I see it, even if you had the best summoner team ever and you instantly got all the allied summons out, you're talking about a 10% post-deployment boost, and at A1, a 20%. I don't think that's enough to make her relevant. You know, compare that to Valkyra, who is a low base attack fighter and gets 40% over time. It's not there for me. I don't see the damage escalating enough, and I don't see the multipliers and the whole concept of the kit being potent enough to be too excited. Sorry if this wasn't the most fun video, but it would be completely dishonest if every new hero I was like, this hero's amazing, because as I see it, there's no way that this chick is amazing. You know, if you're a collector, you should go for her. If you're into waifus, I think we've got a waifu on our hand. Looks like she could use a couple years of sleep, but, you know, it's something, I don't know. Get pumped if you want to get pumped. This is Beatrix, the Shadow Collector. Until I'm proven otherwise, and maybe I'll do some of my own testing once she, obviously I will. I'll do some of my own testing once she arrives out of the gallery and into my actual roster on the test server. Until then, she is Midtrix. Magic CRACH, she is CRACH 2.0. Guys, that's all I got on her. If you want to see more of my content, if you want to keep up with me, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I've been Fastidious. Let me know what you think of this chick in the comments. Give the video a big thumbs up, share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.